Hey, it's Cobra here at MaddenGuides.com, and for this video breakdown, I want to show you how to get double edge pressure, plus use a manual pass rush that I've showed already previously, but this time from the left end. The play that we use for this video breakdown is called 𝗬𝗂𝗯𝗲𝗲 double mug nickel 2 trap. Here are the playbooks you can find this play out of. Before I actually get to showing you guys how to run this particular defense with two different blitz setups, they're going to bring double edge pressure out of the 𝗬𝗂𝗯𝗲𝗲 double mug nickel 2 trap. Let's just take a look at the default pass coverages and pass rush assignments. Now this defense has a cover 2 shell behind it, so you got these two guys right here, which are going to be playing 2 deep coverage. And then you also have these two defenders right here. As you look at it, they're going to be playing the soft squat, the flats out there. Now you can always use the shade if you want to get them to play the hard flats underneath. In the same way right here with these two defenders right here, are going to be playing the vertical hooks. Again, you could use the underneath to have those guys just dropping back into 5 yards as far as taking away maybe some of the drag routes you might see in the game. Now, as far as the pass rushes are concerned here, we've got this defender right here, which is nickelback. Now, what he can do here is he can either blitz off the edge here and apply that pressure, or he may come in between the left guard and left tackle, which means he'll shoot through this B gap and he would apply the pressure there. Then you also have these 4 other defenders as you look at it. So you can have these guys right here rushing the quarterback. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at how to set this up as far as getting double edge pressure. The first setup that I want to show out of the 𝗬𝗂𝗯𝗲𝗲 double mug nickel 2 trap to get double edge pressure is pretty simple as far as the setup. Just make sure you select the right text 2-man as far as getting that pressure. You need that stunt to do that. And the reason you need that is, if you guys remember right, when I showed the other one where I had the left text 2-man, what I was trying to do was trying to get the weak side defensive tackle to make sure he occupied the left tackle. This is kind of the same idea, but just on the opposite side here. So what we need to do here with that stunt, we want to make sure that this guy right here, when he rushes, he goes to the outside. Hopefully he'll occupy the right tackle. This will allow us to take control of Crosby, and rather than allowing him to go to the inside here to shoot through the A gap, what we're going to do here is we actually want to get him to go to the outside. So we're going to manually take control of him where he rushes to the outside and applies that pressure on the quarterback. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do that here as we go through this. So let's keep going through the setup here and take a look at it, and I'll show you how to get that type of pressure on the quarterback here. And again, it's real simple as far as doing it. So as you look at it, what we're going to do here is we're going to do this right here. We're going to bring up the stunt menu. Now, the reason we can bring up the stunt menu is it's going to allow us to stay in control of him and press down on the right trigger and the left stick. You're going to notice here as I'm doing this that I'm pressing at the 5 o'clock position on the controller here. As you look at it, I'm going at the 5 o'clock position. And that's going to allow me to go to the outside into this direction here. And that's the reason that I'm doing that. So by holding down that trigger and doing that, the right trigger and the left stick, you're able to do it, but you got to make sure you bring up the stunt menu. Now you can also bring up the substitution menu to make this work. Now I'm not going to use the substitution menu. Just remember that you can do it that way. All right, let's keep on going with the play here, and we'll keep on walking you guys through it here. So once you guys snap the ball here, what we want to do here is we want to rush up towards this direction as you look at it. When he gets up to about 4 to 5 yards, then we can release him and allow him to go after the quarterback. Now I want you guys to kind of look at here. I realize that the right tackle is kind of coming up to look to block me, but you can also see, if I zoom in a little bit here, you can see right here that this defensive tackle is trying to occupy him. He's making that rush that we were talking about earlier where we need him to go to the outside. You can see he's kind of going in that direction. So that's the idea of that. Let's keep going on with it right there. Now, once we get up to that point, we can release him and switch off, or we can manually go after the quarterback ourselves. It's really up to you, however you want to do it. And right there, we get the pressure. Now you can see, if I were to rewind this and run this again, watch that nickel back coming off the edge here. This guy right here, watch him as he's coming off the edge, because he's also going to get the pressure on the quarterback as well. And that's how we get that double edge pressure. And that's what I wanted to show here as you look at it here. See right there, you get that double edge pressure right there. So that's what we're looking for right there. Now he didn't get in, but you can see that he was coming up there to try to get pressure on the quarterback. Now I'm going to show you guys another setup that's going to guarantee that he comes from the outside and gets that pressure as well. The second blitz setup that I want to show that's going to get double edge pressure from the 𝗬𝗂𝗯𝗲𝗲𝗲 double mug nickel 2 trap just requires 2 more adjustments, and they're real simple to do, and it's stuff that I've done before. So let's go ahead and take a look at it here as far as how to set this one up here. Now what we're going to try to do here is we want to get this pressure here by setting this one up I'm about to, where this guy right here is guaranteed to get pressure off the edge. Now to do this, we're going to put him actually in QB contain. So let's go and take a look at that. So what you want to do here is you want to go ahead and show blitz and do QB contain. And you're going to notice at this point, he is now in QB contain. And what the idea of this is for him to rush off the edge and then go after the quarterback rather than him going to the inside here and going through that B gap. We want to make sure that he goes to the outside. And then we're going to do the same thing with this guy right here, the one that we're in control of, Crosby right here. We're going to do the exact same thing with him. We're going to rush him up into this area here while we manually control him by using the stunt menu and then rushing him at the 5 o'clock position, such as what you're going to see here in just a second. So let's keep going through this as we look at it here, and you'll see I'll get that pressure on the quarterback. So here we go right there. There's the stunt menu. Hold him down towards the 5 o'clock position, and once the ball snaps, you rush to the outside, release him, or you can stay and control him and go after the quarterback. If you made it this far, hit the like button, subscribe, and get notified for our latest Madden Guides YouTube video breakdowns. From the all-22 and instant replay, we can get a better idea how this play works as far as the nickel 2-4 double mug nickel 2 trap by using that pass rush technique that I'm doing with the left end there. So what we're trying to do with this particular setup here is we're trying to get pressure from the outside from this defensive end coming up this area here. And then we're also looking to get pressure. Now remember, we put this guy in QB contain over here, and what we're trying to do with him is to make sure our quarterback can't roll out here towards the left, at least our opponent's quarterback. Now that's the design of it. Now, what makes this defense nice is it does a pretty good job with the coverages. Now, there are going to be some underneath issues. Now, you can always do some shade underneath to take away, say they do some drags or something like that. But for the most part, this does a pretty good job. Plus, you get pressure on the quarterback, and you get basically double-edged pressure as you look at the screen here. So let's keep going through here and take a look at a little bit more in detail as we move forward. Now, as you look at this one right there, you can see what I was talking about as far as getting that double-edged pressure. So right now, as you're looking at it, you got this guy right here coming off the edge who's in QB contain, and you also got this guy, the one that we're in control of, also getting pressure. Now, the coverages at this point, as I zoom back out, as you look at it, aren't too bad. Now, our opponent might be able to throw a quick pass right here to this guy right here, but for the most part, the rest of it's pretty nice at this point. Now, at this point, what I'm going to do is I am going to release this defender right here. Now, you can manually pass rush him if you so choose, but once he gets up about 4 to 5 yards, you can release him. Now, remember, the quarterback here is being controlled by the AI. I'm not controlling it. Now, if you're playing against a human, some humans may end up, dropping their quarterback a little bit further back and say about right here. If they do that, it makes it that much more easier to get pressure on a quarterback. I just want to point that out to you. If your opponent stays in the pocket, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But right there, you can see that we get the pressure on the quarterback, and we're in there pretty quick as far as getting there. And from this point here, as you look at the coverages, everything's pretty covered except for, again, the stuff that's underneath. Now, remember, I did not shade underneath. So you got this guy open, you got this guy open, and you got this guy open. But if you were to shade underneath, that might take that away, and they wouldn't be quite as open. I just want to point that out to you. So that's really it. As you look at this particular defense, it definitely brings some pressure on the quarterback. It just depends on what you're looking for as far as the coverages. But I did want to show this because this is an opportunity where you can set up a double edge defense and bring pressure on the quarterback. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment for more Madden guides, strategy, and tips content. See you in the next video.